You want to do a impromptu anything else episode today? A little bonus episode? Go over the Dr. K stuff and some of these other memes?
What other memes? Are we doing literally an episode on like tomorrow?
Yeah, but that's with a guest.
He can talk about it too, no?
I don't know. It feels kind of, not. You don't want to do that when a guest comes on, right?
It's Dante. That guy will talk about anything.
Okay, so you don't want to do it. Is what you're saying?
Dude, a whole show today? No, I got to do. I got a big debate in 2 days. I don't have time to do podcast show every night. Okay. We got tomorrow. Tomorrow will wait for us. This, talk about this. What is
Have the man that set up the illegal server taking the fifth. I think it's disgraceful.
Do you believe the violence on January 6th was justified morally?
Take the fifth.
General Flynn, do you believe in the peaceful transition of power in the United States of America?
That's it.
When you have...
Oh, cute. DGGR. See, you're debating Andrew Wilson? Yeah, on Thursday. You just double booked and... Oh. Wait, you're right. I did double book. Wait, he was supposed to send me a Google Calendar invite. Why the fuck didn't he? We're debating at 8 o'clock on that day. On Thursday at 8 EST. And then the Richard guy wants to chat at 3. Okay, that's fine. Destiny, I don't think people should be shit on for pleading the fifth. You should be if you shit on other people for pleading the fifth. They said that pleading the fifth implies guilt, and then they start pleading the fifth? What are you supposed to take from that? Okay. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The Board of Registration in Medicine. Adjudicatory case. Adjudicatory, I think. Oh, and it's pictures. Nice. Pictures. In the matter of Alec M. Kanogia, MD. This is Dr. K. A consent order means that the court, I believe, has ordered a thing. No, it's not a court. A court order would be a consent decree. So because it's a consent order, this is coming from a non-court thing, meaning the Board of Registration of Medicine. And it's just a particular set of instructions that, or something that has to do with Dr. K that he has to follow or that applies to him. Is what for a consent order here is what this should mean. Unless it means something different in Massachusetts. Consent order in Massachusetts. Let me just check real quick. I'm 99% sure that. I doubt it means something different in Massachusetts, but okay. Pursuant to GLC 30A, subsection 10, Alec M. Kanogia, MD, respondent, and the Board of Registration and Medicine Board, hereinafter referred to jointly as the parties, agree that the board may issue this consent order to resolve the above captioned adjudicatory proceeding. The parties further agree that this consent order will have all the force and effect of a final decision within the meaning of 801 CMR. The respondent admits to the findings of facts specified below and agrees that the board may make the conclusions of law and impose the sanctions set forth below in resolution of investigative docket number 20-296. That means that when a consent order is issued about this given topic, it means that the case is considered closed. It's not open for further legal action in the future, unless something like crazy or whatever comes out that was unknown at this particular point in time. And it means that everything in here involving both of the parties, all of the statements of facts in here are going to be agreed upon. So nobody's going to come out later and say, well, that I didn't agree with that, or this is bullshit or whatever. This didn't actually happen. I just settled or whatever, you know. All the facts are agreed to, and then all of the punishments and things that are issued by the board are also going to be agreed to as well. Okay. The respondent graduated from Tufts University School of Medicine in 2014 and has been licensed to practice medicine in Massachusetts under license number 271400 since 2017. He is board certified in psychiatry. He owns Healthy Gamer GG and his private practice, Kanogia Psychiatry. The respondent was previously affiliated with McLean Hospital from July 2018 through October 2020 and Harvard Medical School from July 2018 through October 2021. Healthy Gamer GG is advertised as a mental health platform that provides content, coaching, and community resources to help young people take control of their mental health and their lives. Wait, hold on. This is a regulatory judgment, not technically legally binding at this stage, right? No, this should be binding on all. I mean, it's civilly, it's binding on all parties, right? If you break this, then I don't know if it's a criminal action, you go to criminal court. If it's a civil action, then there'd be a civil movement against you. But everybody, this is binding. Everybody, all the parties are agreeing to a consent order. The respondent further advertises that he brings the best of evidence-based psychiatry, complementary and alternative medicine, and his own understanding and experience as part of the internet generation to create a unique approach to mental health through Healthy Gamer GG. Healthy Gamer GG maintains live stream and archived video profiles on Twitch TV and YouTube. A, Twitch TV is a monetized streaming platform associated with Amazon. B, Twitch TV users pay subscriptions, premium content, and supportive cheering during live streams. C, Healthy Gamer GG's Twitch.tv channel has over 621,000 subscribers. And D, YouTube channels are monetized through advertisements on the platform. E, Healthy Gamer GG's YouTube channel has over 1.35 million subscribers. The respondent is the majority owner of Healthy Gamer GG and is eligible for distributions. The respondent receives a salary. The respondent receives a salary from Healthy Gamer GG. The respondent introduced himself to the Healthy Gamer GG community as a Harvard-trained psychiatrist trained at both Massachusetts General Hospital and McLean Hospital. The respondent often wears a Harvard Medical shirt, MGH, and McLean Hospital emblazoned zip-up sweatshirt during his videos on Healthy Gamer GG. According to AMA Ethical Opinion 8.12, physicians who participate in the media can offer effective and accessible medical perspectives, leading to a healthier and better informed society. However, ethical challenges present themselves when the worlds of medicine, journalism, and entertainment intersect. In the context of the media marketplace, understanding the role as a physician, being distinct from a journalist, commentator, or media personality is imperative. Physicians involved in the media environment should be aware of their ethical obligations to patients, the public, and the medical profession, and that their conduct can affect their medical colleagues, other healthcare professionals, as well as institutions with which they are affiliated. They should also recognize that members of the audience might not understand the unidirectional nature of the relationship and might think of themselves as patients. Physicians should, A, always remember that they are physicians first and foremost and must uphold the values, norms, and integrity of the medical profession. B, encourage audience members to seek out qualified physicians to address the unique questions and concerns that they have about their respective care when providing general medical advice. And then C, be aware of how their medical training, qualifications, experience, and advice are being used by media forums and how this information is being communicated to the viewing public. I don't know why we go from C to H. Oh, it's just listing all it goes all the way to H. H, fully disclose any conflicts of interest and avoid situations that may lead to potential conflicts. So the way that this decree is going to, order. The way this order is going to be structured is probably, this is the person, here's all the agreements that we've made beforehand, and then it's probably going to say, these are the agreements that we feel like the person that we're providing this order to isn't acting in accordance with these, and then here is whatever punishment they feel is necessary at the end is probably what the structure of this is going to be. The respondent conducts interview-style videos with various individuals, often gamers who also live stream. These interviews are live streamed on Twitch.tv. The Healthy Gamer GG YouTube channel's interview playlist contains approximately 148 videos originally streamed on Twitch.tv. On or about December 4th, 2019, the respondent connected with acclaimed streamer, Reckful, and interviewed him for approximately 2 hours via Twitch.tv live stream. During this video, the respondent and Reckful engage in a conversation about depression, bipolar, suicide, and psilocybin. B, the respondent acknowledged that his colleagues worried that he could be sued if someone on his stream committed suicide. And C, the respondent offered Reckful to reach out to him if he had thoughts of killing himself. What's up, Josiah?
Hey, buddy, just real quick, I sent you a link. Your internet arch nemesis, Dave Smith, appeared on the latest Piers Morgan panel and weighed in on Kamala Harris and Trump's attempts to steal the 2020 election. Might be worth your time to take a look if you get any free time.
Oh, yeah, I'll probably do it after this. Be careful.
All right, see you, buddy. Bye.
On or about December 18th, 2019, the respondent and Reckful connected for a second live stream interview that lasted approximately 1 hour and 20 minutes. During this video, the respondent and Reckful engaged in a conversation about Reckful's history with therapy. The respondent suggested that he and Reckful meet every week for 4 to 8 weeks to address his loneliness. On or about January 11th, 2020, the respondent and Reckful connected for a third live stream interview that lasted over 2 hours. During this video, the respondent and Reckful engaged in a conversation about depression, Reckful's brother's suicide, and psychedelics. On or about January 23rd, 2020, the respondent and Reckful connected for a fourth livestream interview that lasted approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes. Bad Faith Destiny scared of Dave Smith. Just to be clear, he's the one that's dodging me, okay? Like a little pussy-ass bitch on Twitter while he runs around and he debates people that are infinitely smaller than me. Just as a heads up. Don't ever forget that, okay? During this video, the respondent and Reckful engaged in a conversation about borderline personality disorder. The respondent stated that he would try to love Reckful for 2 years. 15. On or about January 29th, 2020, the respondent and Reckful connected for a fifth live-streamed interview that lasted approximately 1 hour and 50 minutes. During this video, the respondent and Reckful engaged in a conversation, addressed the discussion from January 23rd, 2020. The respondent and Reckful discussed the bounds of their relationship and whether the respondent was Reckful's therapist or friend. The respondent acknowledged that that his very bold claim about loving Reckful for 2 years was irresponsible. Later in this video, Reckful told the respondent he remained conflicted about the status and definition of the relationship. On or about February 12th, 2020, the respondent and Reckful connected for a sixth and final livestream interview that lasted approximately 40 minutes. During this video, Reckful mentioned that he and the respondent would continue their conversations offline, off-stream. On or about June 30th, 2020, Reckful's friend engaged the respondent to discuss Reckful's declining mental health. During his conversation with Reckful and his friends, the respondent followed standard referral guidelines, including referrals for outpatient care, higher levels of care, typo, and guidance around the use of emergency services. And then on July 2nd, 2020, Reckful died by suicide. Oof, that was on June 30th. Damn. Why do they call him Reckful instead of Byron in a legal document? It's just what they're known by. I don't think it matters that much. Conclusions of law. The respondent has engaged in conduct that undermines the public confidence and the integrity of the medical profession. See Levy v. Board of Registration in Medicine. 378 Massachusetts, 518. This is a court volume. Massachusetts. These are going to be state cases. Raymond v. Board of Registration in Medicine. Okay, so these are two Massachusetts court cases from 79 and 82. Sanction and order. The respondent's license is hereby reprimanded. The sanction is imposed for each violation of law listed in the conclusion section and not a combination of any or all of them. Execution of this consent order. Complaint counsel, respondent's counsel, and the respondent agree that the approval of this consent order is left to the discretion of the board. The signature of complaint counsel, respondent's counsel, and the respondent are expressly conditioned on the board accepting this consent order. If the board rejects this consent order in whole or in part, then the entire document shall be null and void. Thereafter, neither the parties nor anyone else may rely on these stipulations in this proceeding. As to any matter in this consent order left to the discretion of the board, neither the respondent nor anyone acting on his behalf has received any promises or representations regarding the same. As to any matter in this left to the discretion of the board. Okay. The respondent waives any right to appeal that he may have resulting from the board's acceptance of this consent order. The respondent shall provide a complete copy of this consent order with all exhibits and attachments within 10 days by certified mail, return receipt requested, or by hand delivery to the following designated entities: any in or out-of-state hospital, nursing home, clinic, other licensed facility, or municipal, state, or federal facility at which the respondent practices medicine; any in or out-of-state maintenance organization with whom the respondent has privileges or any other kind of association; any state Agency in or out of state which responds to provide a contract. Okay, so all the people. Okay, the respondent shall also provide this notification to any such designated entities with which the respondent becomes associated with during the period of probation. The respondent is further directed to certify to the board within 10 days that the respondent has complied with this directive. Let's see. The respondent shall provide a complete copy of this consent order with all exhibits within 10 days. For how long, I wonder? Maybe is this a one-time thing or... Okay. So basically this is saying, so like, I'm not sure if his current Healthy Gamer GG counts as like a health company or something, but this would be saying that like if he worked at a hospital or if he worked as a therapist or whatever, he would have to provide a copy of this consent order to anybody that he works with in any of these categories, basically, to show that he's been reprimanded. The board expressly reserves the authority to independently notify at any time any of the entities designated above or any other affected entity of any action it has taken. And then that's the signatures. So ordered by the Board of Registration in Medicine. Huh. Okay.
Well, bring on the sweeping. What do you got to say for him?
I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty lucky. Basically, nothing happened, basically.
I think that's the wrong way to respond to this. I think the way to respond to this is be like, wow. Well, it looks like a jury of his peers thinks that he did some super fucked up shit.
You're completely dead wrong there. If he did super fucked up shit, there probably would have been some serious repercussions.
He did. Oh, okay. All right. My bad. Sorry. Let me rephrase this. So it sounds like a jury of his peers has said that he did bad things.
Yeah.
Yep. I think you were on the side of it wasn't bad things, if I remember correctly in the past.
I don't remember. It's been years. But I think I said this could go either way. I don't remember, though.
Well, it's gone away now. It's pretty clear, if you had to ask. Every time I bring this up, God, the worst people are the simps of this fucking guy.
I mean, the haters are just as bad. You just thought that it was like a serious thing, and he actually he basically dances away from this almost completely scot-free.
Yes,
you understand that, right? You understand that like the board can't suspend him or do anything else for him. You basically they just said that you have to send a letter to everybody
about it.
Can
you not hate Trump? So you're like, oh well, you can't hate Trump because he got away scot-free. Nice argument, retard.
I didn't say I can't hate him because he got away scot-free.
Oh, okay. So why'd you just say that to me then?
Order.
So why'd you just say that to me then? You said he got away scot-free. It doesn't matter. So I'm sorry. Why'd you
I
bring
didn't
that
say
up?
he got away scot-free. It doesn't matter. I said that his haters
so it doesn't matter.
I said that his haters can be pretty unhinged too, as evidenced by the fact that you thought he just had a severe repercussion, when in reality he basically got like the lightest slap on the wrist possible. It seems.
No, I agree. He got reprimanded. But to be clear here, all the people there's like he's doing nothing wrong. You're being stupid. He's being all touchy and feely. They're wrong. Okay, if he does it again, maybe he'll lose his license. That's how wrong you are. Anyone who said that this shit was okay.
Okay.
You don't agree with that?
I don't know what you mean by does this again. Does what again?
Well, I guess if he has another Wreckful comes back from the fucking dead and he does the same thing, he may lose his license. That's how wrong what he did was.
You didn't specify any actions.
If you're asking why I have passion about this, it's for two reasons. One, it's because of the army of simps this guy has that lose their fucking mind whenever you say that maybe he shouldn't be doing what he's doing. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is that you have people are like, yeah, you're just mad for no reason. No, I'm mad because I think that he's hurting people. And now a jury of his peers has agreed and said, yeah, he's doing something bad. So, yes.
Just to be clear, real quick, what you just said, those two statements didn't agree with what you just said. You said it's clear that he's hurting people. The board felt like that he undermined the medical profession with regards to this one person.
Oh, so is that helping people when you undermined?
No, but you said hurting people as though it made a statement about the multiple people or whatever. This had to do with one thing, and it had to do with reckless situation, and they felt like that he
undermining public confidence in the integrity of medical profession that's good. That's helping people then.
Who said it? Did I say it was good or helping people? Did I say that?
I said it was hurting people.
Correct.
Okay.
He hurt one person.
Are you saying that's a neutral act? Is it a neutral act?
I've never made a statement. Why would it be a neutral act to hurt somebody?
Okay. Is it helping people?
Is what helping people?
Engaging in conduct that undermines the public confidence in the integrity of the medical profession. Is that helping people?
I would say that's hurting his profession.
Okay. I would say that hurts people doing that, undermining this stuff.
Sure.
You can, So,
when you commit
uh,
any crime, theoretically it hurts the entire public. That's what criminal law is for. That's why they're crimes. But the issue here was related
Yep.
directly to Reckful.
Yeah, this specific one is, we don't know. I mean, how long has it been, man, that it's taken this long to get here? Do you think there's more investigations that are going on at the same time, or do you think this was the only one?
I have no idea.
I don't either. Well, that's why I was asking if you think. But saying you don't know is fine. I don't know either. I think there's probably an additional investigation going on.
My guess would be no, only because if they had multiple things going on, I don't know if they would just release like this one thing and then do another thing later on. I don't know why you wouldn't like bundle the complaints.
Well, I mean, as an additional, like for instance, let's say 6 months ago, I had a real issue with Dr. K, and then I made a complaint to the board. Do you think that you can just continually stall investigations forever by piling on more and more and more? I think that they usually keep them probably separate per incident.
I would imagine that if you've got like 7 or 8, no, they wouldn't just keep delaying it, but they'd have enough to build a consensus, and then they would say, yeah, these are all these things, and it's not good.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, no, I feel good about it. Now, at the very least, maybe he's not punished. Maybe he can keep doing what he's doing. But at the very least, I think that there's now his peers that have said what you did was not okay. Now, you can argue a little bit about how okay it was, but a jury of his peers have said no go.
What exactly is no go?
Well, hold on,
Just to
Steve.
be
Before
clear?
I say anything, I need you to answer the Discord DM I sent you earlier, because that determines a lot about what happens moving forward.
Just don't be
right?
fucking retarded. That's your guidance.
I don't. Okay.
Dan, I kind of actually agree with you, interestingly enough.
Yeah, because Anna's a hater, a Dr. K hater.
I don't hate him. No. I guess I have a bit of a more nuanced opinion about this, but yeah, I'm surprised that I actually do agree with Dan. Dan, you actually submitted a complaint to the ethics board, Dan?
No.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I misheard.
You have me mistaken with another Jew.
What?
You have me mistaken with another Jew that doesn't like Dr. K.
He's referring to Max,
Oh.
Mr. Girl.
Mr. Girl, gotcha. Okay.
But we don't even know if Mr. Girl's the one who filed the complaint. We don't know if this complaint
Yeah, I
was
think
his
we
complaint.
absolutely.
We don't know if this is the complaint that he filed, though. We don't know. We don't have any way of knowing that. It might be, but I don't know if we can ever know that. I imagine those are probably kept anonymous. Maybe. I'm not sure.
I feel vindicated. The punishment's not what I would have liked. I would have liked him to have to stop doing what he's doing pretty much altogether. I think it's bad. I think that form of therapy publicly, especially with impressionable people that don't understand what it means to broadcast your most personal, intimate shit to thousands of people that's on the internet forever, is bad. And yeah, I'm a hater, and it's good to see that a jury of his peers agree that all the stuff that a lot of these people were sweeping for Dr. K, saying that you're wrong, he's helping people. How is this different than just talking?
Just as
with
a real
friend?
quick, every single thing that Dan is saying
quick.
is incorrect. I don't know why he keeps
which part?
repeating
Yeah.
the wrong.
Okay, just to be clear, go ahead, explain to me, because I'm capable.
The
of arguing with why
reprimand,
you're
the
retarded.
reprimand was given explicitly and specifically for
For one
Reckful's
thing,
case.
Dr. K. Yes,
So
I agree.
you keep saying people are saying he helps you, blah 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 blah. All of that, none of
I
that
think
was
I
addressed.
said I was
in
talking pretty explicitly about Reckful. But
no,
if you
it
wanna
wasn't. We
shadow
we can
bite-
go back and listen if you want. Do you want me to rewind the stream and we can go back and listen to exactly what you just said?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
Let's do it.
Hold on, I'm muting. Wind that saying.
All the stuff that a lot of these people. Yeah, I'm a hater, and it's good to see that a jury of his peers agree that all the stuff that a lot of these people were sweeping for Dr. K, saying that you're wrong, he's helping people. How is this different than just talking?
Just as
with
a real
friend?
quick, every single thing that
just
Dan
a
is
real
saying
quick.
is incorrect. Okay. Yeah, when you say that everybody was saying that Dr. K is helping people and blah, 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 you're implying that it's about the totality of what he does or multiple conversations, not just the particular
Oh,
Reckful
are you
conversation.
insinuating off that? Because, I mean, this was all going on during the Reckful shit at that time. That's when everyone was going off. So you're going to say that I was... Well, you can insinuate if you want. That's fine. I can be more specific with my complaints moving forward.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good. Do you agree that his conduct with Reckful was inappropriate to the level where he should have been reprimanded?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm
You-
pretty sure
oh,
I said a
you're
long time
unconvinced.
ago is, well, they don't really put a big argument. I don't see the deliberation in the consent order. But like I said before, I think that it's a pretty hairy issue. I think it's pretty difficult. I think you
don't
can probably
think
make
it's that
arguments both
hairy.
ways.
It
And I think that's
seems like
evidenced
it's
by
been
the fact that
decided.
the only thing that happened was a reprimand, which is, it looks like probably the lightest type of punishment that you could ever get for a thing where a person literally fucking killed themselves. So I imagine if there was like any type of actual serious, like crazy wrongdoing here, he probably would have been held
Oh no, the
to a
lightest
much
thing you
harder.
could get for someone killing themselves is nothing if you did nothing wrong. I think plenty
That's
of people
that
see
nothing wouldn't be a
psychiatrists and
punishment.
come-
I think the lightest type of punishment you can get would probably be this. That'd be my guess.
Okay. Do you think that how much punishment someone gets is indicative of the crime committed?
It's
I just
indicative
want
of.
you to say. I
Oh,
want you
I'm
to say
sorry.
that
Let me know when
because-
you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me,
No,
yeah.
no. Okay. You keep harping on the fact that he's only reprimanded and not losing his license permanently. So I just want to get kind of a clear answer out of you. Do you think that the punishment that these guys handed down is important in the context of determining if what he did was wrong or not?
Generally, the severity of the punishment will match what a given body thinks the severity of the crime is. So, in the case where there is a very, very, very low punishment, then it seems to be the opinion of whoever's issuing the punishment that the crime was also a very, very low crime.
Okay. Are you familiar with outliers and things along those lines?
I've heard of that term before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've
outlier.
heard of
Yes,
that?
I am familiar. Yeah.
Okay. So if someone does something and they get a light punishment, do you think that probably wasn't that bad then?
If somebody did something and got a light punishment, does it mean that the thing wasn't very bad?
Yeah, well, it seems like right now you're kind of dismissive about this and be like, oh, well, I guess, it's a complicated issue, but it sounds like, I mean, they
What did
kinda
I
went
say
the
that
other
was
way.
dismissive?
This whole conversation is dismissive. Of
It's not
what- of
dismissive. You're
everything.
just an unhinged hater. I'm just stating like very, very, very basic. Like no
No,
reasonable mind can
you're-
disagree with any of the really basic assertions I made. I've said that generally punishments will match the severity of the crime that a particular judge or court thinks of the crime. That's a true thing. So the fact that his license was reprimanded, which is probably one of the lowest forms of punishment you could give, means that the board here must have figured that whatever error he committed here wasn't that grave in the totality of all the errors that he could commit.
Can I ask you a question? If you ever been arrested before?
Yep.
You have?
Yep.
Well, I have too. Okay. Well, let's imagine you haven't been arrested before. If you got arrested for breaking into someone's house, what do you think would happen to you as a first-time offender?
I would get arrested and I would. What do you mean?
What do you think your punishment would be as a first-time offender?
It depends on a ton of mitigating, aggravating circumstances. It depends on so much.
You know what you're doing right now is a very conservative strategy. Can you engage in
I'm
a
not. You're
fucking
just
hypothetical?
instead of just laying out
Okay,
like,
let me-
okay,
let me
I'm
be
sorry,
more
no,
specific.
wait,
I'm
hold
sorry,
on,
it's
no, wait, I got
9 p.m. It's in Miami
no,
Beach.
let me get it.
You're
I'm
going
sorry,
there
I'm
on
sorry.
the street and-
Let
yeah,
me,
yeah.
let me,
Oh, no,
yeah,
no,
no,
now
can
you
I
wanna
just
talk
do this
loud.
instead of like
Now that
wasting
I've
our
called
time?
out your bullshit,
No, it's
you're
not
trying to
called
go
out.
back
You're
up.
the
I
one that's
understand,
doing
that's
some
fine.
weird rhetorical debate
I'm
trick.
not.
Just
I'm
say
really
this.
not.
First-time offenders tend to not be sentenced as harshly as repeat offenders. We don't need to do a whole hypothetical train for this. I don't know why you wouldn't just say that. Why do we have to ask 20 questions to get to that point? A repeat offender
Because I'm
tends...
trying to make you look stupid, because I feel like you're sweeping for Dr. K, when it seems pretty clear that what they've said here is that he did something fucked up, but it's a first time, so hey, we're only reprimanding you, okay? And
I'm
instead
sorry,
you're
hold
like,
on. Do you
"Oh,
think
it's
that
just a
people
little-"
can't have their licenses suspended or they can't warrant more severe punishments for a first-time offense?
I think that this is a new area of things that probably the board of Massachusetts has probably never dealt with a case like this ever before. If this was a case about a psychiatrist having a sexual relationship with their client, I think that there would be an entire fucking step-by-step book that they could follow, and they could give a punishment based off of that.
You don't think
But
they have
someone-
any guidance on people
I
who
don't-
are
I think they have
therapists giving
little
therapy to... Okay, all right.
No, I think there's probably no guidance on how do we handle a situation where there's a psychiatrist that's doing online streaming on Twitch of people's shit. I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's almost no guidance on that whatsoever. This is literally the first time that this has happened. You know, a strategy you have, and I like it, is that you play the piano when I'm talking so as to minimize my position. But really what it is that you can't think of a defense, so you're buying yourself time to try and think of something to come up against me, and I like it.
I don't have
and,
to.
and
There's
for,
literally
no. Keep playing. Give yourself more time. I don't want to rush you. Think. Go back. Think of something good.
Dan, how does that make you feel when he plays the piano while you're trying to argue? How does that make you feel?
I don't hear the piano. I see him playing the piano. I don't hear it. I wish I could hear the song. But I'm sure it's a good one, and I'm sure right now he's thinking of a really good retort, and he's like, okay, fuck. I don't want to get on Dr. K's bad side, because I've been on his show a few times, and it's really going to fuck my shit up if I call him out. But, man, this thing is pretty fucking cut and clear that, man, Dr. K did some fucked up shit. And I remember in the past, I was saying this wasn't a big deal, and they're saying here that this is completely inappropriate, the whole thing. Man, I don't know. I don't know. Hold on, what can I do? Wait, I got it. And this is where you stop playing and you say something. Do you need more time?
Okay. I don't think I've said what have I said that is controversial or incorrect?
No, I'm saying your past takes on this have been what I would categorize as sweeping for Dr. K.
That was my past takes on this were sweeping?
No, I feel they were sweep adjacent. How about that?
Okay, hold on. Let's see what I... Somebody link this. I don't even remember what I said
Good
about this.
for Twitch, but holy damn, does he have like some very huge conflict of interest going on in his business that are, I'll say, questionable at best, and maybe I don't know if I'd say malicious at worst, but like bordering on really, really, really bad stuff. There's a lot of very bad conflict of interest type stuff going on, I think. I think that everything that he does is okay in terms of the promotion of his business and everything, but when he starts personally counseling the most popular people on Twitch who also happen to support his coaching, I think there's a lot of weird conflicts there that start to pop up that probably aren't good. But, but I don't know, maybe I wouldn't feel that strongly once I see them in context or something, I'm not sure. Not to say that Max, out of context, I mean in context of Max's video. Yeah.
Do you feel like that the...
Okay, so just to be clear, I don't even remember what I said 2 years ago. My takes
Yeah,
2
so
years
just to be
ago
clear,
were way more
yeah,
clear
more
and
recent.
way more
Don't worry,
accurate.
more recent
They're
than
more
that.
accurate.
You're one
They're more
psychophantic
accurate
dick
of what
suck
actually
that found the one
happened than what
thing
your
where you-
prediction was. Because your prediction was it was going to be totally unhinged. He was going to lose everything. My prediction was,
No,
I don't know. It
think
feels like it's bordering on some severe conflicts of interest with some of the conversation talks, and he got reprimanded for it.
What
So
was going to happen to him? I don't think I ever predicted that. I said that it was fucked up. That you managed to have one of your psychophantic dick sucks find the one time that you dared step out of the fucking line and remotely criticize this fuck. But if you go through and you find the other times that we talked about Dr. K, you'll see that you're in there like, yeah, I think it's fine. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. You have the one time. And all the people that are like in here excited about this, you're excited that Destiny is saying that Dr. K was bad. This is a tough spot to be in if you're a Dr. K / Destiny simp. Are you excited that in the past, Destiny said that Dr. K was full of shit and was probably doing some fucked up shit? Or are you more excited that you found that moment that he said that he was full of shit? This is, God, what do you do? I don't know. It's rough. Okay. Have you had enough time on the piano to compose your thoughts? I can't play the piano, but usually when I try to get my thoughts when I'm on a call, sometimes I'll pace around the room when I have my phone on speakerphone, and that helps me a little bit. I think that helps me to think, just having my phone out, pacing
are we
around
good?
the
Is
room
there
in a
anything else we
circle.
need, or I don't know what
I'm
to...
sorry. Did you not come up with anything during that whole?
I don't know.
that
There's
song?
there's nothing even for me to respond to. I don't know what I'm supposed to respond to right now.
You're supposed to say, hold on, let me give me a second, and I'll give you a statement to say. What would I like you to say? A jury of Dr. K's peers have found that he acted inappropriately enough with Reckful to the point where they reprimanded his license.
Yeah, that's
And
true. Yes, what you just said is true. Yeah.
And not only did they do that, I agree with that now that
Okay.
I've had a chance to think, and my prior statements where I've made that I did not agree with that were incorrect and not Bayzed.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's been my statement the entire time. Yeah.
You fucking... You know why I hate you?
Wait, what have I said differently than that in this conversation? What have I said different than what you just said?
You are...
He's not going to answer the
pedophile.
question. He's not going to answer because he's having a
How
moment
dare
right now.
you? He's not going
He's
to
having
answer
a
the
moment right
question
now.
to me
Yeah.
that fast.
He's having his moment right now.
That fast. I get that he's not going to answer a question. To me, of all people. E2, Brutus? Or whatever the fucking saying goes. It's U2? Wait, it's not E2. It's, what is it? It's not... Anyways. What did you say in the past? Well, if I had an army of simps, I would go through our last time we talked about it, and it felt like you were very dismissive and kind of put off the idea that Dr. K was doing something wrong as more of a conspiracy theory type of thing versus something that was actually in reality true.
Okay. I don't think so, but you know.
If I was to present you with a video recorded archive of you saying something that would classify as sweep adjacent for Mr. K, soon to be Mr. K.
Apparently, there are no other active investigations or complaints, and they expanded the scope to every other conversation that they had with previous guests or whatever. So, this review would have been a review of basically everything that's posted on the channel as well, just for the audience. That's what Dr. K posted on the subreddit. That though the initial complaint was more limited, Dr. Kanoja asked to expand the scope for all interviews and for his role during Reckful's acute phases.
Actually,
maybe this just is for all interviews for Reckful, actually. I'm not sure.
Can we read this? I think this is important to read.
Read what?
Whatever this post is. Can you read it?
Hey, y'all, we want to update the Healthy Gamer community on the board.
No, I'll read it.
Complaint filed against...
You're doing the dismissive voice. I don't like it. I'll do it.
Okay.
Hold on. Do not play the piano or overtalk me when I do this, or I'll punch you. Hey, no piano. Stay the fuck clear. Actually, wait, hold on. You can play slow jam.
You got 10 seconds to start reading this, or I'm going on to something else.
I'm reading. Hey, y'all. Very cheeky. We want to update the Healthy Gamer community on the board complaint filed against Dr. K in February of 2022 by Mr. Girl. Far before this complaint was filed, we took self-corrective actions to address the most problematic aspects of guest interviews while still allowing for meaningful discussion around mental health. It continues to be an honor and a privilege to be able to do this work at scale and encourage thousands of people every day to take action towards better mental health. We're learning and growing too. Thank you for everything you have contributed towards making Healthy Gamer a force for good on the internet. Dr. K's license has been reprimanded. While this is a disciplinary action, it does not come with any fines, penalties, or limitations to Dr. K's ability to practice medicine. It's not a suspension or probation. There's no restrictions. It also does not alter Dr. K's involvement with Healthy Gamer. Upon asking, the board did not require the removal or alteration of any of the content, correspondence with previous guests, or anything specifically related to Healthy Gamer. Out of respect for Reckful, Dr. K has opted to keep things private and work with the board instead of engaging in public discussions. Though the initial complaint was more limited, Dr. K asked himself to expand the scope for all interviews and for his role during Reckful's acute phases. The board has found that Dr. K acted with standard referral guidelines, including referrals for outpatient care, higher levels of care, and guidance around the use of emergency services. In private, conversations with Reckful and his friends. The board has found that the interviews with Reckful constitute conduct that undermines the public confidence in the integrity of the medical profession. The nature of Healthy Gamer interviews has been contentious for a long time. The interviews with Reckful started in 2019. Before this complaint was filed in 2022, we had already taken steps to change how we did interviews. Over the past 5 years, we have formalized a process which includes scheduling interviews in advance to avoid spur-of-the-moment comments, allow guests to formulate what they want to talk about, and privately back out. Offering guests a boundary-setting call before the interview to specify off-limits topics. Sometimes, at this step, one or both sides determine the interview is too sensitive and it is canceled or postponed. Always giving guests the right to have their interviews removed. This has been requested twice, and of course, we've complied both times. We've established a scientific advisory board that advises, or sorry, that, well, they were incorrect here. They miswrote. That advise on policies, procedures for content, coaching, and other core activities. We understand and respect the board's decision and thank them for their thorough and fair assessment over the course of over 2 years. Okay, first off, new fucking thing here, okay? People that are gonna fucking omegalol over like misspeaks or misreading, just gonna get IP banned for a week moving forward after this point. Okay? That's the new thing. It's a fucking dead meme. I don't like that you guys couldn't fucking do it when Destiny was around. Now it's happening to you, okay? And you can fucking sit in the queue waiting for a fucking month for Eris or someone else to fucking unban you on an alt, okay? It's cringe and I don't like it, okay? Second off, what did you think of that statement?
Seems okay. I don't have any strong feelings about it. What about it?
I think it's pretty dismissive of a lot of the statements that were made in the complaint.
Like what statements?
Well, I mean, let's go over the actual thing. Hold on one second.
Was there any negative statement in the entire consent order besides we feel like he's undermined confidence in the public health or whatever?
Let's see. Well, I mean, the whole thing was kind of going over what he did was incorrect. But
really, which part?
Let me pull it up.
Wait, this was not.
No, it was the love thing. Why is this not working? Okay. During the video, the respondent and Reckful engage in a conversation addressing their discussion from January 23rd, 2020. The respondent acknowledged that his very bold claim about loving Reckful for 2 years was irresponsible. Later in the video, Reckful told the respondent he remained conflicted about the status and definition of their relationship. So I would think that they're saying that that is a incorrect, bad thing.
Okay. The only thing that they say is under the conclusions of law section. There's one part. It says the respondent is engaged in conduct that undermines the public confidence in the integrity of the medical profession. That's it. That doesn't mean that every single thing listed on top of the findings of fact. It doesn't mean every single thing here was a bad thing or a breaking of the law or anything else like that. But
if you like read one of these things for Brock Turner and at the end it's like conclusion of law, the defendant raped a girl, would you be like, well, that's it, that's the one thing we can do? He got off with no punishment, by the way. I think all of this needs to be taken in. No?
I have absolutely no idea what that sentence even meant.
Okay. Brock Turner, you're familiar with that person?
Yes. No, but I'm assuming he raped somebody and got off or something.
Yeah, exactly. He got a very light punishment for raping someone.
Okay.
Correct. At the end of his charge, the conclusion of law, the defendant raped a girl, right? Like, I don't understand. You're saying just because the conclusion is like, it's basically saying, hey, he's.
So we'll ignore the fact that there wouldn't be like a conclusion of law.
This
is a consent order, so you're not going to find like a.
So it's not a conclusion of law.
There's not going to be a conviction at the end of an indictment. That's not how those work, right? But
there isn't a conviction at the end of an indictment?
No, there's not.
Well, let me pull up Brock Turner's thing. It's interesting. Isn't that usually what the jury returns? Guilty versus
you're doing the
not
Lycan
guilty?
thing. You're doing the Lycan thing right now, okay? So I've just
Well,
spent the past like 2 months reading court cases, Supreme Court cases.
Yeah.
You think I'm just gonna have no fucking idea? I could. Okay, look it up. Go ahead and look it up. Show me a conviction at the end of an indictment, Dan. And then when you're done with that, tell me what a conviction is and tell me what an indictment is. We'll wait. Go ahead.
Okay. A jury returns results saying that if on each charge, if the defendant is innocent or guilty. No?
What does that have to do with an indictment?
Well, this is a, this is like at the end. There's like the one thing.
An indictment is a charging document issued at the beginning, okay, to tell somebody they're being indicted for criminal charges. Okay, that has nothing to do with a conviction. Okay, at the end of when you have documents like this, we have statements of fact. Okay, the statements of fact are being given It's usually you're going to have a fact finding, or you're going to have statements of fact that are going to show like, here's like a particular law, and here are actions that this person did. And the conclusion from all of those actions, usually at the bottom of an indictment, you'll say that we feel like these laws were violated. Now, in an indictment, there'll be the criminal charges at the bottom. It'll say these laws have been broken. That doesn't mean that every single fact listed was a crime that was committed. Right? Generally, in a charging document, you'll see things like, Donald Trump is a businessman from New York. You wouldn't go, see, businessman from New York, that's part of him being an illegal criminal. No, what? These are just findings of fact. These are just you don't know which parts of these. They didn't make a particular statement in the bottom in regards to any of the particular facts. It doesn't look like it. All we have is the respondent has engaged in conduct that undermines the public confidence in the integrity of the medical profession. I haven't read these underlying cases. You saw some of the things quoted earlier. I don't know which parts of these given on the findings of fact. I don't know which parts of these they felt more heavily played into why they felt like he needed to be reprimanded. I can't make that assessment. And they didn't list it out here, and you certainly can't make that assessment. So I don't know why we're saying like, oh, well, obviously every single thing listed here is bad. I don't know what was listed here exactly is bad. I'm not sure. I can't tell. And they didn't give any guidance or indication in this about it. But it's just a consent order. So I don't know what you want me to, yeah.
Okay. Sure. Yes, it's a consent order. I think, how do you feel? Let me ask you this: how do you feel about these results of this finding? Before they came out, if you said if the board was to review Dr. K's conduct with Reckful, what do you think they would say? What would be your answer to that prior to
I don't know the particular guidelines or the guidance that's given when it comes to...
I didn't say that you did. I don't either.
Then it's hard for me to have an opinion of any high level of conviction.
In the past, we have opinions about shit all the time without knowing things.
I think, but they're very low conviction, or sometimes they just won't speak on anything if I have no fucking idea. I'll say, I have no idea. I'm pretty sure somebody literally came on my stream yesterday and asked me things like, oh, what do you think about this? Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know this thing. I have no opinion about it. For this, I would say my guess is it's probably gonna be similar to what I just said in that Mr. Girl video from 2 years ago, right? It's like, there's a huge conflict of interest. There could be really bad things happening, but maybe not. I'm not sure. But it would depend on what the particular guidelines given as part of your ethics classes or whatever the fuck when you're a therapist or psychiatrist. But I don't know what those guidelines are.
I guess I'm a little bit passionate about it because it felt like a lot of people were dismissive and were like, this is so obviously fine.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb. That's pretty retarded. Just like it would be pretty retarded to have your position up. This is obviously fucking horrible, right?
Well, no, apparently not, because I was correct, and it was.
No, to be clear.
To be clear, he got reprimanded, and the punishment that he got is irrelevant here, unless you want to say.
What do you think the punishment is irrelevant for the severity of a crime? Do you think that's true? Wait, say that again. The punishment doesn't matter for the severity of a crime.
The punishment doesn't matter for the severity of the crime. No, using the punishment to determine if the crime was a big deal doesn't matter. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to say he only got reprimanded, so it wasn't a big deal. Okay? That's what you are actually trying to do right now. He just got reprimanded. It's not a big deal. And I'm countering with, that's bullshit. Brock Turner didn't get much of a punishment, and he did something fucking heinous.
I don't know what Brock Turner. What is the? I don't know why you keep comparing this to Brock Turner.
He raped someone, and he got off with a very small punishment.
What was he convicted of?
You are trying to tell me right now. You're saying, hey...
Now I'm going to go time to look this up and see that Dan has no fucking idea what this court case is about. Let's find out. Here we go.
Brock Turner, there was a passed out girl behind a dumpster. He went behind it when he was drunk or not, and then he fucking was like fingering the girl. 2 people found Brock Turner. They held him down. The cops came there, and then he basically got off with like no punishment at all.
Okay, so he was initially indicted on 5 charges, 2 for rape, 2 for felony sexual assault, and 1 for attempted rape. The 2 rape charges were withdrawn. So now we're looking at 2 for felony sexual assault and then 1 for attempt rape. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. The trial concluded, and he was convicted of 3 charges of felony sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What was his punishment?
On June 2nd, 2016, he was sentenced to 6 months in jail, followed by 3 years of probation.
Okay, so is 6 months... Did he... I didn't even think he got jail. Maybe I'll have to use a better case than this. Did he actually go to jail?
It said he was released after serving 3 months, which was half of his sentence for good behavior.
Oh, wait, you know what? Who is... The better one was the... what was that dude who got the affluenza? That's the one we should be using right now. People are saying Game of Thrones. You think I can't just find something better in a second?
Well, I mean, this is the one that you use over and over again, and it sounds like he got 3. And now, you know what you were going to ask, because I was going to get you to the next question.
You're right. I'm sorry. I misspoke. I chose the wrong one. I meant the affluenza guy.
Okay,
That's
who's the...
fine.
Okay,
That's
let's
fine.
look up that one, okay? Never looked this case up in my life. I've heard about it as a meme. Let's find out what actually happened.
Let's find out what
Affluenza.
happened. Yes. Yes.
What's the name of the guy? Court case.
Well, there's been a few. There was Ethan Couch.
Name
but I don't know what the
one.
fuck
Give me.
happened
Oh,
to
so
him.
you don't even know. You're just spitting out
You-
random shit and wasting my time trying to make your argument for you.
I know that this guy got away with fucking nothing.
Okay, which name? Which name?
Hold on, I will get
Oh,
it
he
for
doesn't
you. I'm
know. He
sorry.
doesn't even know.
What you're doing right now is something that will be done to you, and you will fucking bitch and moan and whine about it.
Do it
that
to me
you
right
don't know
now. Do it to me right now.
Everything ever. No, that's a retarded thing that you're doing right now. You know it's retarded, but you're doing it because you're floundering.
It's
fine.
retarded
I'll
that when
give
you're
you-
bringing up an example to prove your point, I'm asking for what the example is. He's talking
yeah,
about Ethan Couch.
I'm finding the case. No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't know if it
Ethan
is-
Couch, Wikipedia.
Remember this the next time Destiny complains and whines when some conservative asks him a fact and he doesn't have the fucking answer on hand.
You better believe if I'm bringing up a fact to support my
No,
argument,
you
I'm going to be
might
able to
bring it up.
talk about that fact. What are you
Every part
talking
of it?
about?
Every part of it.
Yes.
Really.
Why do you think I've
Okay.
spent days and days and days reading every single fucking part of an entire fucking court case and the underlying Supreme Court
You
decisions
know
and everything else?
everything.
I know. Yes, I do.
So full.
I know everything about everything. That's right, Dan. Ethan
You're high.
Anthony Couch killed 4 people at the age of 16 while driving under the influence in 2013. While intoxicated under the influence of drugs, he was driving a restricted license and speeding in a residential area when he lost control of the vehicle. 4 people were killed in the collision and 9 were injured. He was indicted on 4 counts of intoxicated manslaughter for recklessly driving under the influence. In December 2013, he was sentenced to 10 years of probation, subsequently ordering him to undergo therapy for a long-term inpatient facility. Before sentencing, Couch's attorneys had argued that he had affluenza and needed rehabilitation instead of prison, arguing that Couch had no understanding of boundaries, as his affluent parents had never given him any. He was indicted
Well,
on
I mean,
4
he only got
counts.
probation. I guess that's okay, right?
What was he convicted of?
Oh, he killed 4 people when he was drunk.
That's a conviction? Killed 4
Oh, I'm
people?
sorry. Wait. I'm sorry. Do you want to change what happened? Well, you can do faces and be confused on stream. I know you need a few seconds to process this right now. That's fine. Go ahead. He killed 4 people while drunk, and his punishment was very light. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know. Let's see. Okay. The conviction was intoxicated manslaughter, 4 counts, and intoxication assault, 2 counts. The state was Texas. Texas. Intoxicated manslaughter? Okay. Intoxication manslaughter. A person commits an offense if this person operates a motor vehicle in a public place, is intoxicated, and by reason of that intoxication is death of another by accident or mistake. Are sentencing guidelines listed in the code, in the criminal code here, or an offense under
What
this
is-
section? What is what?
No, keep going. I want you to keep
No,
reading.
what is what? What were you gonna ask?
Because you're scared and you're hoping that by putting it back to me, you can get out of this. Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay,
Keep
all right, we're
reading.
done with this. Okay. Let me walk through for anybody that doesn't understand like what's happening, okay? So here's what's happening, okay? So the
You
reason
wanna
why I
change
asked
it, you
earlier,
wanna stop reading now. I understand. That's fine.
let me know when I can talk.
You can talk now.
Okay. The reason why I asked earlier and made fun of Dan for saying 4 people were killed, so he's saying 4 people were killed doesn't mean anything. Are we talking about like first degree murder, or are we talking about like a lesser manslaughter, like a second or third degree fucking manslaughter degree? Second or third degree manslaughter, depending on the state, right? The differences in penalties for conviction on these, the sentencing guidelines can be anywhere from capital punishment for murder 1 all the way to probation, depending upon, you know, like the circumstances, your mitigating circumstances for manslaughter or murder 3 or whatever the fuck. Different states call things different things, or homicide 3 or whatever the fuck. So the first question is asking, well, what were they convicted of? To figure out particularly what they were convicted of. That's number 1. Then the second thing that you would look up is you would go, okay, well, what are the sentencing guidelines for this particular thing? So for instance, Dan is really mad that this guy got sentenced to what he perceives as a low sentence, but Dan has no fucking idea what the sentencing
not mad.
guidelines are right now. He has absolutely no idea.
You're saying something that's incorrect right now. I'm not
Dan,
mad
do you
that
know
he-
what the
that he-
sentencing guidelines are for intox manslaughter?
Hold on. Are we talking about this guy or Dr. K right now?
We're talking
Of
about
who I'm mad
Ethan
about?
Couch.
I don't give a fuck about this guy.
Then
I
how
don't
do you know if his sentence was too big or too small?
Because it was all over the news that he was drunk and killed 4 people, and essentially he got off because the judge was friendly with his parents, and that was the term. Affluenza was coined.
Do you see how
and
you
he
just
got-
dodged my question?
Sorry, repeat it. I don't want to dodge your question. Go
What
ahead.
do you know what the sentencing guidelines are for intox manslaughter?
I don't know what they are.
Okay.
In Texas.
What if it was 1 month?
Do you know what they are?
No, I don't. That's why I was going
Okay,
to look
then
them
don't
up.
Fucking come so cocky at me if you don't know
I'm not
either.
getting
Then
cocky.
let's go look at
I'm
them.
not cocky because I don't know and you don't know. I'm getting cocky because I don't know. When I went to look them up, you started laughing because you didn't even realize that you needed to know the sentencing guidelines to even know there was an improper sentence given.
No. What's happening right now, okay, is that you have no idea what the sentencing guidelines are. I don't
That's
either.
why I went to
know
look them up and you were making fun of me for it.
No, I was waiting for you. I said keep going.
You didn't.
I
You
want
were
to
like,
go.
oh, he's just trying to throw it back to me.
We
I
can
just want to know
rewind
the
tape
sentencing
again if
guidelines
you want
were.
to. We could rewind the tape again if I want to. I said, no, go ahead, keep going. You said, no, I'm done. Actually, I'm done.
Yeah,
And I
because
said,
you
"No,
were
keep
you were
going."
saying this is what you're trying to throw it back to me.
Well, I'm sorry if you don't. I'm more than willing to give you more time to continue to go and do research at this point. Would you like to?
I don't even know you don't even know any of the details of this case. I'm just doing this for your edification now and for my own curiosity.
You're doing me a favor. I understand. That's very.
Yes,
that's
I
very
am
kind
doing
of
you a favor because you had no fucking idea what any part of this case was even about. You just heard memes in the media and that's it.
The great part is you didn't have any idea either.
I
Both of us
didn't, and then
together,
I went to look it
morons.
up. But the problem is that you brought this up as an argument to support you. So of course I'm not familiar with it. But you're not familiar with it either. But it's your argument.
No, yeah, I brought it up. This is easy to explain. I brought it up because you are continually pointing at. Listen, you only got a reprimand, not a big deal. And I want to counter with, hey, looking at whatever punishment someone gets is irrelevant to what crime they may have committed. There can be.
If you
cases
go
where
back and you
someone-
listen
Okay,
to what
you
I
wanna
said,
answer? That's
yes,
fine, that's
yes, I will. Because if you go back, I said it's the court's opinion about the particular crime. That's why I keep saying mitigating and aggravating circumstances. There are circumstances that would make a judge lean more harshly against you, and there are circumstances that might make a judge more favorable towards you when it comes to sentencing. That's why you have aggravating circumstances that make a particular thing worse, or mitigating circumstances that might make it a little bit better. Yes.
Okay.
But generally, yes. So, and your own argument here, whether you realize it or not, is playing in my favor. But you think it's playing in your favor because you're trying to say, oh, well, what about this guy who did this horrible thing and he got sentenced very lightly?
is that my
Well, the
voice?
reason
Why
why
do I
he
get
got
that
sentenced
inflection?
lightly sounds like you're giving this affluenza reason. Sounds like it's because the judge found that to be a compelling argument. So the judge felt like, well, the severity of these crimes is probably a lot more reduced because of this particular argument. Therefore, he's going to get a lesser sentence. Now, if you want to talk about,
would you argue that this wasn't a big deal then? If we were talking about this, and I was
wasn't
like, hey,
a big deal. When did I ever utter those words ever?
my
You're not
God.
even. You can't.
You know what? I know. No. I'm this is fine with me. I'm okay with this.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
You can be I wish I could be on camera making the cute faces that you're doing with this stuff.
No, you're
as
just
well.
you're in here with a ton of conviction. You don't have like the slightest idea of like any part of this, but you have so much
you do.
conviction.
I do because you swept for this guy.
I
in my
didn't though.
opinion.
The video literally
2
shows
years
me
ago. 2 years
saying that
ago.
like, oh
Well,
yeah,
what
you know, I
about-
don't know,
what
there
about
could be
more
huge
recent
conflict.
ones?
Yeah.
As I said, there is more recent
Okay,
ones.
yeah,
where
find
I
me
took
ones,
higher
okay?
bit of shit, the other
Okay.
stuff along those lines. I felt
Mhm.
that you were, you know, so to speak, sweeping for the guy.
Mhm.
And now you're like, Dan, not a big deal. If it was a big deal, he would have had a bigger punishment. And I'm trying to equate that fact, saying the punishment is not indicative of what the person did being a big deal or not. And I'm giving you an example of that being a case, and you're being shocked.
You
and
haven't
trying
given
to
me
twist
any
it.
examples of that because you're not going
Okay,
to because what you're
the guy
describing
who was
isn't how the
drunk-
legal
yes,
system
yes,
works.
okay, the guy who was drunk and killed 4 people and got away with probation. That is the situation that I'm giving to you right now. Okay, he got away with probation.
Yes, and the reason why they had to make arguments in front of the judge was to try to show why this wasn't as severe as you think it is. My client
No,
didn't
it
commit
wasn't
a
severe. So you believe it wasn't severe then? What he did?
It's not about
You
what
can-
I
you can
believe.
concur.
It's about what the court believes. They're the ones that
Well,
dictate the
I'm asking
punishment.
for your opinion. I'm asking you for your opinion on Dr. K, and you're saying, well, just a reprimand, not a big deal. I want to know your opinion.
My opinion.
Was
if
it
you-
a big deal?
I already told you I don't know the guidelines, the specific guidelines that are given, so I don't have a strong conviction on any of it. I said, I don't know. It seems like it's probably bad, but it would depend.
Speculate on shit that you don't know about again in the future. This is where
you realize I literally pair every single speculation that I have, especially shit I don't know about. Where like, oh, I don't know shit about this, or I'm not sure, I don't know much about this.
Part about New Destiny is New Destiny. Everything is well. It's my understanding, if I remember correctly. As long as I knew, like, that's the New Destiny. Where's the old Destiny? The one that fucking goes hard. I can't even get anything out of you.
Yeah, because I don't know what the ethics guidelines are for a psychiatrist. He might have been committing huge grave wrongs, and he might have been doing shit that wasn't that big of a deal. Looking at the judgment from the board, it seems like they just decided to reprimand him, so it seems to lean in the idea of it seems like they probably didn't think it was as big of a deal.
So there's an ethics guidelines for psychiatrists, and then there's also an ethics guidelines for therapists, and he falls under both of them. Just point that out.
Sure.
He would have to obey both of them.
Yeah,
the ethics guidelines for counselors / therapists, they're stricter than for psychiatrists, interestingly enough. But
okay.
I think that Dan has some good points, though.
No, he doesn't.
I do. You're a fucking Dr.K simp, and you just want to be on his next show, so you won't say anything of fucking conviction for this fucking dick suck.
Okay. From Dr. K's #1 hater.
Yes. No, I'm like his #2 hater. Or maybe #3. I think Chud really doesn't like him either. I'm on the list. I'm in the meetings. I'll say that much, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I don't care. And the best part is, every single fucking Dr. K fan out there right now, especially those that are watching you and they're fucking super butthurt and doing their emotes and everything else, I'm glad that I'm riling you up. And I'm glad that today, the post about him losing his fucking, or getting a reprimand on his license.
See, even what you just said there betrays like your inner thoughts. Losing his fucking license. Like, oh, fuck, reprimand.
Sorry, that I said something.
No, you didn't just say something wrong. It was a Freudian slip. It's like in your mind, like, it's like, yeah, this is exactly.
Determine when something's a Freudian slip now? I'm sorry. I'm going to be ecstatic today as the news of Dr. K being reprimanded goes viral, and all of you and your fucking simps out there trying to fucking make it seem, it's not a big deal. No worries. Just a small reprimand. I'm going to be happy. I'm glad.
Okay.
You can do your Ayurveda meditation, whatever nonsense.
What do you want for that?
I just have a quick question for Dan.
No, I'm not. I am not doing this with a fucking Reddit mod. You stay back in your place. This is not your domain.
Why do I terrify you all so much?
There we go. You're using your JStock defense against me now. Are you going to tell me that you're... What did he say? The other thing?
The rape bit? No, I'm not doing that.
Okay, don't do that.
And did you read the whole court order?
Yep.
Really?
To be clear, I would be careful. We're talking about Dr. K's thing, right?
Yeah, sorry, not court order.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it, it's consent. Yeah, it's a consent order, not a court order. This wasn't before a court. It was just before the Board of Medicine, but...
It's a licensure reprimand. Reprimand, basically.
Yeah.
Are those good, just to be clear, so everyone is clear and crystal clear, to be clear, if we're all clear? Are those good to have on your record?
Yes.
No.
Does anyone know?
It shows you've got strong conviction.
Are you supposed?
Do you think House doesn't have any reprimands on his medical license, Dan?
Are you supposed to get those? Do you know if House existed in real life, he would like be in jail and actually the worst doctor of all time because he would have killed like 1,000 fucking people?
Wow.
You know House was actually retarded, right?
Oh, a House hater. Oh, we got a House hater in here, Dan.
But he is a fucking retarded doctor, and everyone knows that. He would be he would be like a genocidal doctor if he was actually out there in the real world. House was a psychopath.
So Dan, is there anything in this in their judgment that could have changed your mind? Like, is there anything you could imagine them saying where you'd be like, oh, I guess Dr. K was fine?
Yeah, if they came out and they said this jury or whatever, at the end, if it said we have found no wrongdoing and that's it, then that would be it. That would be the end. That was a jury of his peers and they found no wrongdoing. I mean, the end for me.
So you're just really disturbed that he undermined the public confidence in the integrity.
That's what Dan cares about the most. Yes, of course.
If I try to analyze why I'm upset about it, I think I'm upset about it because I feel like he got successful, wealthy, and made a career off of doing great harm initially, and then he pivoted to something else.
Steven, apparently the audience can't hear me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
You're fine.
Okay, well, they're seething. All right. So you were
You're
saying.
just a little quiet. That's all.
Thank you for the honest feedback that I needed.
Okay.
Dan,
I mean,
you were
he got away with it. That's fine. I mean,
What
that's
is the
fine.
it that
I've,
he
got,
got
I've
away
gotten
with?
away with doing like illegal
What is
shit as
the
well. With it,
Yeah, what's the it?
bending, breaking the laws of the norms of psychology and psychiatry.
Could you go into more detail?
Sure. Like,
Nope.
wait. Oh, hold on. That was a very condescending thing that you just said to me right now.
Yeah.
Would you like to rewatch our initial debate about N95?
Hold
masks,
on,
Steve?
hold on. We don't need to get sidetracked. I just want to know what are some of the details that you think the laws that Dr. K has violated and norms that he's broken?
Well, I think in general, the most important one is that you shouldn't have a relationship with your patient where the line between them being your doctor or your friend is unclear. That's a
Crazy.
huge
That's
one.
not called out in that document, in that consent order at all. So is that just your original opinion as a mental health care expert or professional, or
I believe it is called out in the document. It's one of the statements that they make in there.
that his relationship with him was inappropriate?
Hold on.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Where
Where's the
was that?
statement?
Yeah,
Sorry.
which statement are you referring to here?
Let me go through and find the exact thing that I said. Okay. I think I said this before, though. The respondent and Reckful discussed the bounds of their relationship and whether the respondent was Reckful's therapist or friend.
Okay, so
That was a statement of fact.
Yeah, that's just
That
they're describing what happened.
Let's go back a second. What are you trying to say? You just asked me in this document, where does it say this? And I'm telling you, this is where it says that Reckful and them were trying to determine if they were friends or therapists or not. I don't know what part of this. Okay, so
You're saying that the
like-
board said that particular conversation, that particular
this
thing
is
is bad.
written in this document. Do you think Dr. K wrote this document?
Okay.
What do you think that it says the finding of fact means?
The finding of fact. You mean the conclusions of law section? Is that what you're talking about?
No, this statement comes from the finding of facts.
Yes, it does. It's the.
Yeah, what does that mean?
These are a list of things that are true, according to the board.
Yes. Do you think there's a judgment in the findings of fact?
There's a judgment in that these things happened, in that they find them to be true. Yes.
Yes. But they are not.
Everything said here is like, for instance, you would say, an example, not that this is said here.
They're describing events
look
that
at-
happened. Yes.
Yeah, for instance, you could have something in here that could say, on January 29th, 2020, the respondent had sex with Reckful 15 times. That might be something you would see here, but it wouldn't say that was bad. Would you agree with that?
Yes, that's correct. That's why
Okay,
I
so
now
we
want to
can
know.
move on from this subject then, because
No.
there's never going to be that here. These are things that happened.
Wait, you just
They're
said,
not-
what did you just say? They're never going to say that's a particular thing that's bad?
It's like you're trying to narrow me down and say, Dan, it's not in the. It didn't say at the bottom that what he did is wrong. Those are
The
just.
problem is
statements of
that
fact.
is that none of us actually know, but you know like the least, but you have the strongest conviction. So like, for instance, in a criminal indictment, I believe that at the bottom when they list the charges, they do incorporate the facts into the charges. But that's in a criminal indictment. This is just a consent order. But I believe that that's not uncommon. I mean, we can look. I'm pretty sure Jack Smith, federal indictment.
This is not a criminal thing, so I don't know if it matters. This is.
You don't know
this
anything
is-
about it though, but you have a very strong opinion. That's the
you don't-
issue.
You don't either.
No,
Well,
but I have
know-
like a little bit more of a like background and
think
understanding
so?
what's going. Yes, apparently yes.
Really?
Yeah,
You
apparently
think
so.
Well, apparently not, because you were wrong. You thought he
Wrong
was
about
fine,
what?
and about this. You thought what he was doing was fine.
I don't think I've ever said that, but okay.
Okay,
But I'm sure you'll find the videos of that.
I will.
Okay. Count 2, conspiracy to obstruction. Okay, the allegations contained in paragraphs 1 through 4 and 8 through 123 of the statement are re-alleged and fully incorporated. Yeah, I think it's common in most criminal indictments that you'll be referring to parts of the facts above, or which parts are incorporated or given in reference to the criminal counts that the criminal violation process. But I don't know, for consent order, you can probably write these however the fuck you want. That doesn't really matter that much. Okay, are we good? Are we done from this?
Are we done from this? Well, I was responding to Forethought's thing, but so go ahead, Forethought. Continue with your thing.
Oh yeah, I was just like, I was just like blown away by the conclusions you pulled from like the fact finding part, when all this spoke to was that he undermined public confidence in the integrity of the medical profession. It doesn't say anything about his relationship, his conflicts of interest or relationships with his patients. It doesn't
There is,
say
yeah, there is a
anything.
little bit of inference that you might need to pull. Like again, as we both agree, not that this happened, but if it said here, like 18 on February 20th, 2020, Dr. K had sex with Reckful.
Okay, you
That
understand
would-
when you say inference here, you're not saying inference. You're saying you're going to make a judgment
Yes,
of your
I'm
own,
going to infer based
completely
on, and I'm saying
detached
something.
from what these medical professionals
No.
think.
Hold on, take a second. The reason that these statements of facts are statements of fact is because they're relevant to the finding that they have at the bottom. They wouldn't put in here on February 2020th, Dr. K ordered a Happy Meal, because that's irrelevant to the finding that he undermined the integrity of the medical profession. So all of the
It
findings,
could, you could be
you're
right, you
being,
could be wrong, but it also could be these were the things we examined. We only found issue with his undermining public confidence. They could be intentionally saying, we've looked at this, so we're not going to look at it again. Here's the issue. Here's the reprimand.
you are being intentionally obtuse
What
on
am I
this.
obtuse about?
Okay, this is essentially a trial of Dr. K. Someone's reported you. Let's go through it. Here are the facts. And then they list out the facts. And you're saying none of these facts matter. Even if there
No,
was
I'm
something...
saying they matter.
Okay, so the facts as stated should, and then we have a conclusion at the end of the facts, correct? At the conclusion of this is, we found that you were bad. Basically, I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not going to say the same thing every single time. Okay. At the conclusion of all these facts is, you were bad. You shouldn't have done that. Okay. Now you're saying that I'm not allowed to look at any of the individual statements of fact and infer this is part of the reason.
You absolutely can.
So that's what I'm doing.
You just shouldn't be saying infer. You should just be saying, I disagree with the board. These are my judgments.
Well, I don't disagree with the board. The
You
board looked at
absolutely
it. The board looked at his conduct as a whole and found that he was breaking their guidelines, and he was reprimanded. What part of that is incorrect?
Yeah. So, do you think he was reprimanded for inappropriately behaving with clients?
Yes.
Okay, you're just wrong.
Well, I mean, we
What
can
was
actually...
the exact reprimand for?
Hold on. Actually, I mean, I believe that is the... that would be the... You're trying to... I understand what you're trying to do now. You're like, he wasn't done that. He was actually reprimanded for undermining confidence. I understand that you're making that type of very factual draw of that, but when we look at...
You can ask me and I can explain you what I'm thinking.
Well, I don't need to, because you're
just going to infer?
Yeah, I'm going to infer from that.
Oh, this is a pattern for you, I guess.
Okay. You know what? I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Tell me how you know that his conduct with Reckful was not related to this.
Yeah, sure. So when I look at the fact finding, this was just a complaint specific to Reckful. And at the end of it, they say that he is engaged in conduct that undermines public confidence in the integrity of the medical profession. If he had specific issues with his relationships, or he had conflicts of interest that betrayed his clients, or he had done something inappropriate with prescribing psychiatrics, I see no reason that they would be vague about that in any way whatsoever. Can you explain why they're like...
So you're inferring now that this isn't the answer that they give when...
No, I'm not. I'm actually not inferring. I'm reading the text.
100% inferring that this response that they've given is not a blanket response, regardless of what crime has been committed, or what law has been broken, or what guideline has been shattered.
Why would they be vague
right now?
Why would they be vague?
So are you asking me to speculate on why your speculation is incorrect? You seem very confident.
This isn't speculation. I'm just reading the text and interpreting the text.
I understand you're reading
written.
the text, but you just also speculated that this is a very specific answer for a specific thing. I would love to know how you know that that's the case. For instance, if this was a case where a psychiatrist slept with a patient, and at the end of the conclusions of law, it was the respondent has engaged with in conduct that undermines the public confidence in the integrity of the medical profession, would that shock you? if there was a case like that and there was a similar verbiage at the end?
Yes, that actually would shock me.
Okay.
I'm actually going to
But
look it up now and see if
Okay,
that's
that's good. I think you should. I don't know how you're going to look it up, but maybe that's a phrase that has been used a few times. Let's try Googling it.
Bayzed. Any other Bayzeds in the chat?
Okay. Oh, we got 4 of them. Here we go. Oh, this is so perfect. We have the exact same text for some other ones. You ready to pull these up? Oh my God. Forethought. They've used the exact same term. Isn't this sick? Okay, doctor who works at St. Vincent after doling out pot license illegally in Maine. He got that exact same term. That's weird.
Can you link what you're reading? Because I
You can just Google the text. Here, I will link you the exact Google search, but what you can do is actually just Google for the exact thing there.
I'm reading case law, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my bad. I'm
Massachusetts.
Yes. That's what I'm doing.
So it's like really 1-to-1.
Yeah. So it is exactly 1-to-1.
Okay, what are you doing?
Well, I searched exactly for the term that was used to sentence Dr. K, if you will. And I found 4 cases here. So we're going through these. And we're finding out what happened on each of these 4 cases. Well, no, we should keep going. You said this was not possible, right? They couldn't possibly use the same verbiage for crimes of a different magnitude, Forethought. We can go back if you want to listen to you saying it before.
Every time you've asked to go back to watch something, it has never worked out.
Are you trying to use that? Are you trying to use this against you? Because you said you would be shocked if this was the case.
Plainly about what I think. So.
Oh, okay. Let's hear what you think.
If they think like, hey, this behavior violates and undermines public trust, and then point, like for instance, in this conclusion, Pembroke failed to discharge DL within the meaning of GLC 123 after the denial of his petition to continue DL's confinement. This was a violation of the statute. See GLC 123 _6 Appendix A. In addition, Pembroke's number 12 application of South Shore for evaluation and subsequent readmission and involuntary of confinement was an abuse of misuse of Section 12 CGLC 123 Part B, Murgarney 512 Massachusetts at page 784.
What is it called when people just spit words at you, hoping that makes
this is like what I expect to read when someone is violating medical procedure. Because you can read these cases all the time. There are anonymized cases of doctors that have either failed their basic duties or are being sued in some way, and they publish them. You can just read them. So when you like look at this and think like, oh wow, they're making this sweeping conclusion about all this stuff in the background, you're like, you are in another realm.
No,
go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah, I was saying. So we started this conversation. I believe you said verbatim, I would be shocked if this statement of fact was used for any other case at all, or one that was serious. Do you disagree with with my? You can do a retelling.
That is a retarded retelling.
Okay, then why don't you say? Why don't you restate it?
If there were violations of specific codes, they would not make a vague statement. They'd be referencing code specifically, which is why I'm reading this example.
Okay. So would you like me to just like start sending you doctors that have been sentenced? Like there's one here for beating his wife. There's one here for here. I'll send all of them to you if you want. There's actually a fuck ton.
Are you sending me like random headlines, or are you sending me like opinions from case law?
Each one of these is a PDF from a state sentencing a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
So you don't know? Okay, go ahead and link them.
No, I think that pretty clearly says that.
Go ahead and link them. Go ahead and link them. Go ahead and link them.
Okay. I'm getting all of them. Here we go.
I don't think it really matters that he violated any specific code. If they found his conduct is unbecoming of a, professional medical doctor, and they reprimanded him for it, they said it violates public trust in the medical profession, which honestly, he does all the fucking time. The amount of lies that I've seen Dr. K make, he was claiming he only studied like 2 to 3 hours when he was in medical school. He's just completely and utterly full of shit. And he says these lies because he thinks it advantages him in some way. Like, the reason he came up with that lie was to make it seem as though he knows more about studying and can offer people advice about studying. He does that all the fucking time. So I think this Reckful case is the only situation that I think his colleagues know of. Like, they're not watching his YouTube channel and watching all of his content where he could violate some of these ethical codes, but I've seen him do that pretty fucking regularly.
This first case, the 6 pages on Dr. Lee.
Yep.
Can you read the factual allegations?
I'm not going to read out loud each of these things. There's so much stuff. Do you want to go through?
Yeah, I mean, this is your evidence.
My evidence is that there's multiple cases that use the same verbiage at the end. Yes.
Okay, so in your mind, I thought that was a novel conclusion from that board in your mind. That's what I thought.
I think that you thought that response could only possibly be given to a minor infraction.
Okay, so you're gonna go through these and talk about the major infractions then.
Say that again, sorry.
So you've linked a bunch of major infractions.
I've listed infractions that use the same.
Hold on, wait, real quick, wait, just because wait. Who's making what argument? I just want to see who I'm supposed to be backing here. What is the argument that's being made right now?
Go ahead, Forethought. Give your retelling.
Yeah, sure. So, basically, this Levy v. Board of Registration of Medicine allows. That's one what, Dan?
That's one of the many that I gave to you, but go ahead. Yes.
No, it isn't. Do you know what?
Stop! Give me the argument before you guys get. What is the argument?
Yeah, sure. So the case Levy v. Board allows the Massachusetts government to reprimand their practicing providers if they violate any sort of norm or rule or just engage in behavior that threatens public trust in health.
Okay.
I think that's normal, and I think that isn't a particularly damning accusation, as it is just a rather light sentence and doesn't have a strict criteria on the healthcare that was provided or the quality of the profession. It's usually not a particularly severe thing, from what I can read. Dan, go ahead and make your case.
Wait, can I rephrase this real quick? Just so we can. Okay, so you're saying that a reprimand means that there was something that was done incorrectly, but it was probably like relatively insignificant, and the reprimand represents a like, hey, don't do this again, or you fucked up, but it's not like a super severe thing in general. That's what you're saying, correct?
On reprimand, I'm not totally confident. I'm not entirely sure what a reprimand can entail in terms of psychology and psychiatry.
Well, sure, on this particular type of reprimand, we just put people notice.
Yeah, but in this particular case, it doesn't seem to be a huge deal, and it's just the board making their case to ensure public trust.
Okay. What does Dan disagree with?
So wait, sorry. What I'm stating is that the punishment that someone receives is not indicative of the severity of the crime.
Okay.
Do you disagree with that? That the punishment that someone receives is not indicative of the severity of the crime?
You're just.
I'm asking you a question. There is no anything.
Reasonable minds. There is reasonable minds. It's a thing that reasonable minds can't disagree on. The punishment that a person gets is, of course, indicative of the severity of the crime in the eyes of the court.
Okay,
that's just. But if you disagree, you're just wrong. There's not even room for you to be.
When I give you an example of people doing heinous things and getting off with a slap on the wrist, you're like, well, you know what? That's an outlier. That's your thinking.
Okay.
Do you not want to answer that? Like, for instance, the example of someone killing 4 people when drunk and getting probation.
You don't even know what the ordinary sentences are for
Why are
that.
you putting this back to me? I'm asking you this question right now. I know that killing 4 people when drunk definitely carries prison time.
You have no idea.
Do you want to bet money? $1,000. Killing people while drunk has prison time. First time offender. Yay or nay? You want to take me up on it?
Guaranteed?
You always say that if you're confident about something, put money behind it. Let's do it. Money behind it.
That there's a guarantee that if
you don't have to rephrase
you're
it.
posturing.
Yes,
you're just wrong. You don't understand any part of the legal system. I'm not gambling. You're gambling. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, Dan. Do you admit that you don't know a single criminal statute or a single sentencing guideline for anybody doing vehicular manslaughter? Can you admit that right now?
It sounds like it's easy money.
No. Can you admit one? No, because I'm not gambling. You're gambling. Admit that you're gambling. You have no idea. Admit it. Admit it.
You don't
admit
know.
it.
Admit what?
Admit that you have no idea what the sentencing guidelines are for vehicular manslaughter.
No, I know. They come, at least, this judge was completely out of line. The norm is that if you fucking kill someone when you're under a DUI, you go to jail. You don't get probation. Okay? There you go.
As a minor.
Ethan Couch was tried as an adult, I believe.
You believe? You don't even know?
I'm sorry.
You're gambling. You have no idea what you're talking about. This is such... Okay, sorry. You go back to argue before that. This is...
You know what you do? You fucking weasel out on
Stop
anything you
calling
can.
me a weasel, Dan. You didn't know about this case? This was after you dodged from another case you didn't know about because you had to dodge from the Brock Turner one because you had no idea about that one. You didn't even know originally what this guy was sentenced for in this case. You didn't even know that he was a minor. You have no idea.
About this case. You don't know anything about this case because you didn't know the exact name of the guy or what state it is.
Nobody's asking for the exact name of the guy. I'm asking if you knew the criminal charge. Oh my God. Okay, all right.
You did that exact behavior earlier. You're like, where did it happen? Show me the exact law that he was lying or something. You were doing that.
You brought up a case to support your argument, and I asked you what the case was, and you soy fucked. You soy fucked because you didn't even know the case. How I do not see that that's a valid thing for me to ask.
That is not true. I knew the case. I knew it was a major thing that happened in America, the affluenza case, and you're like, you didn't even know the name and the section of the law it was in. I knew that it was a kid that fucking killed 4 people when he was fucking drunk. Okay, that's what I know. Okay, and I know that he got off. And apparently, someone messaging me right now says it's 2 to 20 years minimum sentence in Texas for killing 1 person when you're under the influence.
As a minor?
As a minor.
No, I don't believe that that's correct.
Meaning 16 to 18. Well, you can put some money on it.
Okay, $100.
Fine, you're on.
Okay, here's a thing linked for penalties for drunk driving, vehicular homicide. Somebody can link the actual link for this. In some states, it says 0 to 24 years. I don't even know if these are minimum sentences. This says approximate jail or prison sentence possible. I feel like I see like 20 states here. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Where's peace go?
What's Texas say there?
Texas is one state in the U.S.
I'm sorry, what state did this happen in, by the way?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're only talking about the state of Texas?
Sorry. Do we want to change the rules now?
You never specified that as a rule. You said, I know. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Wait. No, you're right. Wait. Let me just. Yeah, you're right.
You would be like, what?
No, wait. You're right. Hold on. I'm sorry. So when you were saying you were so confident about the minimum sentencing guidelines, that's just in Texas. You know the minimum sentencing, but only for Texas, not for any other state.
I was talking about this specific case. You know what's funny is you can take this argument and you can go either way with it. That's why you're such an effective debater. Either it says 2 to 20 for Texas or it says 0 to 20. But either way, you can either fall back and say, oh, I'm sorry, every state doesn't accept Texas. My bad. Or it can be Texas has it and say, Dan, this is really weird. Texas doesn't have it, but the other ones do. I thought you knew this case. That is the type of debate pedophile tactics that you try on fucking weaker minds, not on me. Dan out.
Okay.
I guess I won again. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, have fun. Be careful.
Peace out.
Bye.
This doesn't even apply for juvenile offenders either. Jesus fucking Christ, kill me. Okay. Okay, back to studying this and writing this down. My God. Just as a heads up, in case anybody's confused, because there's a lot of retarded statements that were made, okay? Just as a real quick thing, when you're reading statements of fact and then you've got charges at the end, all right? Unless it calls it out specifically, the thing is you don't know on the factual statement, you don't know which one of these things or how they're contributing to the charge if it doesn't list it particularly, or if you're not familiar with how these particular charges are levied. So, for instance, let's imagine a very simple charging document, and it says, Stephen had a conversation with John about killing Jane with a firearm. The next day, Stephen and John went to the store to go and buy a firearm. And then the next day, Stephen and John went and they killed Jane with the firearm. And then the charge is like conspiracy to commit murder, I guess, and then murder or whatever, murder one or whatever, right? And there's probably other things too, right? If you're looking at all the three things, okay, that have happened, okay, and you're looking at the conspiracy charge, right? For conspiracy, I believe that I think this is in every state. For conspiracy to commit a crime, I think you need to make the plan to commit the crime, and then you have to take at least one step towards committing the crime. I think these are two elements, maybe the only two elements involved in criminal conspiracy. However, if you're looking at a charging document, right, me and John having a discussion about killing somebody with no steps taken towards the crime is not part of a criminal conspiracy. And me and John going to the store to buy a gun is not part of the criminal conspiracy. But having both of these together makes it part of a criminal conspiracy. That's why you can't just read a statement of fact and assume that every single underlying thing is wrong, or every single underlying thing is a bad thing. It might be, but it might also be taken in conjunction with one another. I don't know the guidelines for ethics or whatever, so I can't make a strong statement or declarative statement. But I would never say that because charges follow from some statement of facts. Therefore, every single fact constitutes on its own in a vacuum of bad behavior. You can't make that statement unless you're more familiar with the particular guidelines. You can't make that statement from a charging document, from a consent order, or anything else. You just have no idea. You don't know. Hold on, somebody. An hour long? I'm not watching this whole thing. Dan has some evidence in chat. It doesn't matter what Dan finds. What matters is what you know when you're making the claim. If somebody says, oh, I know X, Y, Z, and you're like, wait, really? And then they're looking up some evidence like, oh, well, look, I found a thing that says, okay, well, it's a different argument. It's like, no, what the fuck? You don't even know what you're talking about when you're making the argument. There's no point in, I'm not going to say why you do live research.
You know, you fucking weasel fuck when I leave here and you're like, oh.
Okay, I'm good.